I've been a little iffy to do this review. Well, not because of me being nervous, but it's just, I've just been hearing so much iffiness of watching this series, because you got people will say, I would watch it because Kevin Hart's in it. I would watch it because Kevin Hart is terrible. He's a terrible actor. He's not great. He's not a great actor. His performances is terrible. Here's the thing. Back then, I would agree with that, but you have to look at what Kevin Hart has done. Kevin Hart is a comedian. So if you're going to judge Kevin Hart, you might as well judge Mike Epps. But unlike Mike Epps, Kevin Hart has not really done any movies that was terrible. Mike Epps has done movies that was trash. So my question to you is, what movie has Kevin Hart done that deserve all this hatred? Every movie that he did that was funny, we laughed. Because comedy is subjective. Like, what does make you laugh? But what movie that was so dramatic, that was so bad to the point where you don't want to touch anything that he replicates when it comes to him pulling his heart out? Kevin Hart. Exactly. True story. True Story is a 2021 Netflix series that is directed by Stephen Williams and Hanelle M. Culpepper. A tour shop in Kid's hometown of Philadelphia becomes a matter of life and death for one of the most famous comedians when the fallout from a night with his brother threatens to destroy everything he's built. Now, I'm going to go out and say this. After watching Cowboy Bebop, I needed a refresher. I needed something to clear my mind. I needed something for me to kill my vision of Cowboy Bebop. And when I found out about True Story, I was on the fence, just like everybody else. But not because of Kevin Hart's history of him always playing comedic roles. Because, like I mentioned, he has never done a bad job. He has never done a terrible job to the point where I don't want to act in any of his, I don't want to see any of his acting movies ever again. And if he tries to pull his heart out, I'm not going to watch it. I feel as if, the reason why I was curious, because this is one of his first movies where he actually has to perform, where he actually has to pull his weight out. All right, you an actor? You want to be an actor? Let's put it to the test. True Story, I'm going to say this right now. True Story has mixed reviews. And it should have mixed reviews. Because it depends on what you're coming here for. Are you coming here for the story? Which the story is not all that spectacular. The story is mediocre. All I'm saying is, if you already been through the visual aspects of Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, and maybe even a pinch of Ozark, you're not going to be shocked with the story premise of this series. What pulls you in, and what pulled a lot of audiences in, is the acting. And I'm at to say, even though the story is lacking the creativity of the story could be better, the acting from not just Kevin Hart, but from also Wesley Snipes, they have done a great job. In fact, they have made this series fan-fucking-tastic. If you're on the fence of watching this because of the acting, because of the performance of Kevin Hart alone, even though, in my opinion, I think he made the series, the acting carried the whole series. The acting alone is what made me love this series the most, because I believed every single aspect of each character, especially with Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes' character, the brothers. I loved the bond between them two. Even though Wesley Snipes was basically the troublemaker, even though he was basically the whole terminology of just how things are supposed to take place, how things are supposed to get fucked up, how things are supposed to be dramatically fall into the hands of the dramatic sequences of just how things are supposed to be crazy. I believed every single emotion that they have drawn out with each other when they was fighting, when they was pouring each other's hearts out, when they was just being honest with each other, when things got crazy. Their bond was irresistible. And at the same time, it's not just them. Even though they carried the movie, especially with Kevin, the movie, they carried the show. Even though they both carried the show, especially with Kevin Hart's character, with his performance, I'm gonna have to say right now, it was great. Hold on, my camera is bending on me again. I'm gonna have to stop it. Even though this is Kevin Hart's one of his first major performances, I'm gonna have to say I don't think anybody could have done what he has did. He plays as a comedian and things get fallen apart, but I believed every single emotion of his character. His character was believable. His character is actually relatable in my opinion, because when I began to try to build things up and try to be successful, on my own, there were people that was trying to come to my life and not just slow me down, but just deliberately crumble my goals. I think that's one of the main problems of being a successful black person. I mean, look at Kevin Hart, for example. People didn't want to watch the show because they say that he's a bad actor. But how could you say that if you know that only thing he did was comedic roles? And you can't say that anymore because the joke's on you, because he did a great job on this movie. Now, turn off the black card for a second, because there are other actresses that has, unlike Kevin Hart, because he has not done no bad movies, that has done terrible with movies. Megan Fox. Now look what happened. She made a movie called Till Death. That was a very good movie. Ryan Reynolds. You know what? Ryan Reynolds is too easy. Kevin Hart knows what he's doing. He knows what he's getting himself into. And people are now comparing him to Dwayne Johnson, how Dwayne Johnson started off by being a wrestler. But unlike Dwayne Johnson, he actually had a lot of potential when it comes to him doing action movies, drama movies, movies where he could easily pull his weight to just fit that role. He has a lot in common, like Jamie Foxx and I forgot the name. Will Smith. All these actors Ice Cube, even Ice Cube, these people can do roles that can be comedic, funny, dramatic, and be an action sequence. But with Kevin Hart, even though he has been successful in this film, and I wouldn't even say Oscar worthy, because his role in Wesley Snipes' role was not memorable. Only way it'll be memorable is if they have done an iconic role to the point where it was iracceptable. I don't think anybody could have done what Kevin Hart did, but that's because of how he pulled it off. Somebody could have done what Kevin Hart did and could have done a better job. But the reason why I'm giving him so much praise is because this is his first film that was very good and very successful. So I really can't give him an Oscar for that, because anybody could have done what he did. It did better. He has done it in his own way and made it great. That's the reason why I'm saying that no one could have done what he did and make it the exact same, just to prevent confusion. Speaking of acting, I have to give praise to a lot of the actors and actresses that has pulled a heart out into this show, especially the person who has played the iconic stalker. Well, not really a stalker, but just obsessed with, with Kevin Hart's character, Kid. By me being a YouTuber, by me like having a couple of names and just being successful with my novels and stuff, I understood his situation of just, being pressurized with the fan base and stuff, because there are times where I just go out shopping and just go out to the public and just, try to live my life. There was even one time I went to a gas station and one person pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey, I know you. Where you live?" And I'm like, "Dude, get the fuck away from me." I felt that with his character. I felt that with the with the person that was pursuing him and making him feel uncomfortable. That was funny. That was great. With movies, I keep saying movies. With shows like this, they add stuff like this just so they can get you synchronized so what you can relate to, and I can actually relate to those type of methods. This is actually what makes this show entertaining and heartwarming, in my opinion. The show was great. Like I said, it lacks the story development when it comes to creativity, but I will say this: the story actually has some good twists and turns to keep you on the side of guessing. But there were some times where I called it out, but there were some times I didn't. It was mixture. So the show likes to test your brain out to see, are you going to get this right when this happens? Are you going to get this right when this happens? 6 times out of 10, I got it right. But the rest of the times, 4 times out of 10, I got it wrong. So it all depends on your expectations. It all depends on your visuality of just shows like this that has good dramatic sequences. It's like I said before. We've been there and done that with movies and shows like this. What pulls it, what makes it great, is how the actors played their part in this. You can make, here's the thing, you can make a movie that has very bad, that has a very bad story. But if you got actors, actresses that falls better into the script and just make it more interesting, it can be pretty entertaining. And this is what true story is that the story is not bad, but it's lackluster when it comes to the creativity of people being on the edge of their seat, not being familiarized of the story's replications, but we have been there with the story. But that's where the mixture of the reviews came in. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 40. Critics like me gave it high praise. But it's all subjective. But anyway, check this show out. This is a very good Kickstarter for Kevin Hart. And if you like me, if you like to support Black African American culture that is just trying to just boost their material out there, because it's tough, man. It is very tough to make it, especially when you got your own kind putting you down. They don't even fucking know you. Please support this show. Please check this show out. I'm gonna have to give True Story an A. I really did enjoy this show. I really did enjoy it. This show was pretty fucking good. I'm gonna have to thank one of my buddies, one of my colleagues, for giving me the Netflix account for me to fucking check this show out and to check out Cowboy Bebop finally. Because I normally like to own what I use. I normally like to buy DVDs and buy movies and buy box sets, but I just couldn't wait. I had to review this shit and be quick with it. But anyway, am I gonna beat the bell? I better do it right now before the bell rings. That's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher. You guys have a damn good day.